Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, government to hand over new apartments in Roseau in February. Parliamentary representative for Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Melissa Skerritt, says housing remains a critical area of concern and a new health center for Roseau South. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Recipients of Upper Riverbank apartments and shops are expected to be presented with their keys in February. Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt made the revelation on Thursday, 27th January 2022. He was wrapping up a site visit of 3 constituencies, Petite Savanne, Grand Bay and Roseau Central. Government continues to place emphasis on enhancing the housing situation around the country, with the city receiving much needed attention in that regard.
In addition to the apartments, we have shops, so we're able to pile the trade there. How many shops we have there?
9 now.
9 shops now, and of course, we look forward to people moving in. You can see that the power reps touch in the building and so on, the color scheme and so on. So, we're very grateful for this. You can see the ambience there. It's a wonderful place to cool out on an afternoon like now. I can imagine the barbecues that they'll be having here and the kids' parties they'll be having here.
The Prime Minister says the aesthetics of the city are important as they help define the country's progress.
Whatever is done in the city of Roseau benefits the entire country, because that's the heartbeat of the city, that's the capital of the country. And so that there's something that we must do to enhance trade, to enhance communication, to enhance the aesthetics of the country, because when people come to your country, they first look at your city.
Prime Minister Skerritt says a lot has been done in Roseau Central over the last several years, but there is still much more left to be done in terms of roads, sidewalks, drainage and housing. Measures are being taken to protect the Upper Riverbank apartments and residents from flooding.
People will ask the question about the river wall. I know questions have been asked about the river wall. It's been designed now. I believe we're nearing completion of the designs, and once we finalize the designs, we will build the river wall to cover the entire length of the apartments.
Prime Minister Skerritt says designs are being finalized for a second set of residences for the city.
Roseau has a huge housing problem, and more than people understand. And because people don't have land, and a lot of folks who live in Roseau, they live in rented accommodation or squatting accommodation. We really need to address and arrest that situation.
The Prime Minister says he believes in building residences in Roseau because it's part of what makes the city unique.
We are a city that has a residential component to it. Most cities only have commercial components to it. And we need people in the city to bring the life in the city so that we can expand the opening hours, the operating hours in the city. And I think building residences in the city, upscale residences, is something that will certainly enhance trade and enhance commerce and the social life of the residents and so forth.
Parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Melissa Skerritt, says she is excited about the completion of the Upper Riverbank apartments built near the Dominica Grammar School. The Member of Parliament for Roseau Central says housing has been one critical area of concern for her.
This has been the most pressing issue for the constituents of Roseau Central. Housing has been their main issue, and this is why we fast-tracked this project. Although we only have 51 apartments, we probably received over 1,000 applications. So it is going to be a very difficult process to select, but I can say that the most deserving will be getting these apartments.
Mrs. Skerritt says what's special about these apartments is that they will not only provide living spaces for families, but there will also be several spaces from which businesses will operate.
51 families will be moving in February, but in addition to that, what makes this extra special is that it's both commercial and residential. And so we'll have 9 commercial spaces here, all different types of businesses, which we have already selected. So I'm really happy about this. It is the most beautiful apartment structure in Dominica. And I mean, just sitting on the wall and listening to the flow of the river and the river breeze, that alone is just therapeutic. And so I'm really happy for the residents who will be occupying this area.
Mrs. Skerritt says there's an additional housing program coming on stream, this time targeting individuals who are already landowners.
So in the first instance, we will be allotting 15 families who own properties outside of Roseau, but they are constituents of Roseau. We will be constructing homes on their properties, and in addition to that, we will, I hope, fast track on the new apartment structure in either the Pound area as our next structure area to continue, or opposite the promenade on Riverbank. We have acquired the lot, so it's just a matter of making a decision where we want to begin.
Mrs. Skerritt says drainage issues on Virgin Lane and River Street are to be targeted very soon. She says Great George Street will be a model street when that project is completed. It's part of the Roseau Enhancement Project. A new Roseau Health Centre is also due to come on stream. The British government has committed £70 million or 250 million EC dollars to support Dominica's Climate Resilience Execution Agency, CREED. CREED is the agency responsible for coordinating and pushing Dominica's resilience agenda. The funds from the British government also cover the upgrading of Dominica's water and sewage systems, which were badly damaged by Hurricane Maria in 2017. During a recent tour of British-funded resilience projects in Dominica, British High Commissioner to Dominica, His Excellency Scott Fusserdon-Wood, said Dominica was well on its way in its thrust to becoming the first climate-resilient nation.
To help you, as you've described, Prime Minister, with those critical improvements to the Loubière to Bagatelle road, to support you in your geothermal ambitions, as you've described, Prime Minister, which have the most extraordinary potential to transform your energy supply and to generate income for the country. To help with your health centres, to make them more resilient and climate resilient.
His Excellency said these projects, which also include youth development, are practical in that the benefits are tangible. Prime Minister the Honourable Roosevelt Skerritt gave the scope of works required to restore the water system following Hurricane Maria.
We started focusing on the major supply areas and the major consumption areas. And so coming out of those technical missions, we were able, with the support of the British government and its technical people along DOASCO, to identify how the funds that the government of the United Kingdom had committed to our efforts in building greater resilience in our infrastructure, how those funds could be better utilized where the water system is concerned.
2 teams of technical experts from the British government have engaged DOASCO to assess the country's water systems. The people of Newtown will soon be able to receive medical attention in a newly built modern health and wellness centre. Parliamentary representative for the Roseau South constituency, Honourable Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte, says the completion of the new health centre is long-awaited and also timely.
They have been subjected to using a container at Roseau. And I'm so happy today because in a community with so many vulnerable people, primary health care is of utmost importance. And the health center will be commissioned this year. We have a little delay with the equipment, but nonetheless, our health center has been constructed.
Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerritt says the search for suitable land on which to build the Newtown Health Centre proved challenging. But the Prime Minister says the parliamentary representative, the Honourable Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte, was able to identify the plot of land upon which the new health centre now stands.
And she took the initiative to engage the landowner, communicated the landowner by email because the landowner was out of state and was able to get the landowner to agree to sell the land to us at a highly reasonable price, I must say. And here we are today. Had Shakira been a nurse, I would name it Shakira Lockhart Health Center, for her efforts in this, and so I really want to say I'm happy for the Newtown folks that very soon they will have access to a resilient structure and one that will enhance the provision of healthcare services to us here in Newtown.
All that's left to be done now is to have the building furnished.
We're waiting the furniture and equipment to have it equipped. Again, I really want to commend the efforts of the power up there, because for many years we have had great difficulty in getting a location for the health center. I think Suki had some land by the bay, wanted to sell, but maybe it was too much money at the time, I don't know. And then we wanted to acquire Bobby Frederick's place at some point. It was for sale for the health center. There was some other land at the back of the gas station there, and I've been to all of these areas. We went to Kings Hill, went to Citrone, looking for location to build a health center and so forth. But that was not possible.
The Prime Minister spoke as he wrapped up a recent tour of constituencies where government is providing much-needed housing and other government infrastructure projects from Scott's Head to Roseau South.
So I don't want anybody to start speculating there's going to be election and scare it in Newtown and scare it in Soufriere and scare it in... That's a usual practice of the Labour Party, that we try as far as possible to stay close to the people, to hear their concerns, to hear what is good, to hear what is not good, and how we can work together to make life better for them. And I say we, the government, the community, residents, because they're the ones who live here, they know the issues better than me. And I need to hear from them, along with the power rep and the ministers, so that we can formulate responses and solutions to their problems and so on. And we're making all of these commitments and we're doing all of these things at a time when every country is grappling with the fallout of COVID-19.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The public has been called upon to continue to take advantage of an extension of a government decision taken in 2021 to reduce land transfer fees. Registrar of Lands Vincia Auguste Francois says 2021 was a very successful year for the division, and the reduction in transfer fees will continue until August of 2022.
As you know, in 2021, our customers enjoy the benefit of the reduction in transfer fees payable to the government by 3.5%. We know that many of our customers took advantage of that time to conduct their transfers and realized great savings. We are happy to restate that the reduction was approved for a further year, and so individuals still have an opportunity to avail themselves of the benefit of the reduced transfer fees up to the 31st of August 2022.
The head of the Land Titles Registry made the announcement recently in her report on her department's performance as part of the Ministry of National Security's annual review.
Although the division is still relatively new, having been established sometime in 2018, it has continued to show steady growth and increased productivity in many areas. We recognize that the work of the Land Titles Registry is important to you, members of the public, for varying reasons. And we further recognize and appreciate our role as being essential and critical to the socio-economic development of individual citizens.
Ms. Francois says due to COVID-19, the division undertook certain measures in order to continue its work.
Dealings with and transactions relating to land create economic activity within the state, and so we value our participation in that aspect of national development. Notwithstanding the various limitations and restrictions of COVID-19, I dare say that we have risen to the challenge in effective ways. We were obliged to seek novel ways to serve you safely while reducing undue interruptions in the usual services provided. I therefore take this opportunity to thank you sincerely for your patience and cooperation with us over the last 12 months, as we have had to modify the various ways to serve you.
During 2021, the Registry of Lands instituted a number of measures which would ensure continuity of service while simultaneously ensuring the protection of staff and clients.
During that period, we instituted an appointment system for lawyers and individuals to consult their out-of-order files. We also instituted an appointment system for surveyors to conduct their hatching-offs, as well as appointments for consulting with the registrar. During the year, we also employed a new area for delivery of service to customers which were necessary, safe, and practical. All these measures may have seemed extremely burdensome to you, but we submit that they were necessary and expedient for your safety as well as the safety of our members of staff.
The Land Titles Registry is moving into an improved work environment for staff, a decision which the registrar says will foster greater efficiency and productivity.
At the Land Titles Registry Division, we aim to deliver the best quality of service to our valued customers. That is why we are always looking for improved ways to serve you. And so we have taken note that the current office of the Land Titles Registry is no longer adequate for practical for service demands. Hence, we are in the process of transferring the land registry to a whole new location. And we are happy to report that the new facility is a great improvement from the office we currently occupy. The new registry office was designed to be more spacious and comfortable for you, our customers, as we continue to serve you this year and in the years to come.
Dominicans now have an avenue to protect their intellectual property patents. Registrar of Companies and Intellectual Property Office, Ms. Athley Nesty, says nationals who wish to register their patents now have a path to do so. Dominica has been a signatory to the Patent Cooperation Treaty since 1999. However, there's never been a designated receiving office or international search authority which is mandated under the treaty.
In this new era, we have observed that many patents are being created where individuals are coming forth with new innovations, such as new medicines to fight COVID and new processes for enforcing social distancing protocols. However, we have observed that Dominican nationals who have chosen to register their patents are given the opportunity only outside of Dominica. Nevertheless, the process is to be available in the country as mandated by the treaty. This receiving office creates the avenue to file international applications under the PTT. Dominica, as our fellow CARICOM member state, has delegated. Also delegated is receiving office to the International Bureau of WIPO.
The number of businesses, companies, and intellectual properties registered with CIPO in 2021 increased over that of previous years.
For the period 1st January 2021 to 31st December 2021, the number of local companies registered were 193. Number of external companies, 5. Number of business names registered, 841. Number of new trademark applications received, 191. Number of new patent applications received, 11. We have presented 9 intellectual property journals to the Princery Department, of which 6 journals of intellectual property have been published. We must report that compared to previous years, there has been an increase in the number of small businesses, companies, and intellectual property registered at CIPO.
Ms. Nesty says the types of businesses registered during 2021 is an indication that Dominicans became more innovative because of COVID-19.
There was the perceived fear that the pandemic would lead to a mass business failure. However, from the number of registrations at CIPO, a paradoxical effect was noted. That is to say, more businesses have actually been registered during this COVID-19 pandemic. We have also observed a new outlook on the type of businesses and business activities being registered. These business activities circumvent the restrictions of the pandemic and evidence innovative mindsets of entrepreneurs. For example, we observe a lot of digital activities being registered, a lot of food activities, whereas you provide services to individuals for delivery. We have also observed a lot of marketing, advisory, and consultancies being registered. This proves that our people are truly inventive, ambitious, relentless, and resilient as they continue to focus on important issues and livelihood.
Minister for Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Honorable Dr. Irving McIntyre, says new health and wellness centers for Bagatelle and Roseau Central constituencies are just part of a much larger plan for healthcare in the country. A delegation headed by Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit made a site visit to the soon-to-be-opened Bagatelle Health Center and the site proposed for construction of a new health center in Roseau Central constituency on Thursday, 27th January.
Both of these projects are very important for these respective constituencies. But even more than just the constituencies, it just represents a bigger program that we have for healthcare. So as you know, the Bagatelle one comes under the 12 health centers that we have completed so far. We actually commissioned 7 out of those. That would be Vickers, Marigot, Wesley, Georgetown in Portsmouth, Colliho, Maho, and Bellevue-Chope. The others, that is Soufriere, and that's Newtown, and Ansdime and Penville will be commissioning these very soon. But that's basically the infrastructure regarding primary health care.
The health minister says the infrastructure is first, but the human resource component is also critical in order to promote service delivery for a healthy and productive population.
That's the foundation on which healthcare is actually built on. And then obviously you get up to secondary healthcare and then you get up to tertiary healthcare. But the secondary and the tertiary, you'll be seeing more of this as time goes along. Namely, that's the Marigot Hospital, which is secondary, and then tertiary, which is our Dominica China Friendship Hospital. But the foundation is actually on the primary healthcare system, and then we move upwards to secondary and to tertiary. So, but you have to start from the foundation. You have to start from the bottom going up. So that's very, very important in our endeavor to provide a really proper healthcare system for the citizens of the country. And as I said, we have a good, healthy population, then we have a productive population.
The health minister says an education program is expected to complement the new structures.
The courses that we're going to be offering at our state college, some of them we have already offered, like the pharmacy technicians, the nursing program, the nursing assistant programs, the community health aid programs. So all this, what this does is to provide the human resource that we can deliver the services. in the new Roseau Health Center, although it's going to be bigger than the other health centers, it's not just bigger because Roseau is the bigger health district. It's bigger because it houses a lot of other things. There will be the environmental health department there as well. There will also be the immunization center. All the normal clinics, whether it's for the chronic, non-communicable diseases, will be there as well. Our under 5 clinic will be there. Our immunization program will be there. Our health promotion unit will be there. So that's why it's a bigger structure, because it houses many more departments which are integral for primary health care.
And that's all for the English version of the news. Shakira Pierre-John is next with Creole highlights.
Bienvenue pour nouvelle à Creole. Non, moi c'est Shakira Pierre-John. Gouvernement identifié terre pour construction et développement caille à Saint-Aguabe. Yon expansion terre, c'est la 44 vieille caille été dommagée pour préparer pour construction des gros projets ça là. Yon délégation, cabinet et puis Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, j'ai dit aller en place ça là pour voir progrès là qui a fait à ce projet là. Développement caille commencé et puis 44 caille pour bâtir pour moun Guabe et puis Dubik. 44 c'est pour relocation famille hors Dubik pendant 40 qui bénéficie moun Guabe. Premier ministre Skerrit dit 20 morceaux de terre avaient pour résidence Guabe qui voulait bâtir caillou. Honorable Skerrit dit gouvernement qui vend ces terres là parce que il y a l'eau demande pour terre à Guabe avec ce masala qui bénéficie hors de réhabilitation chimée. Yo qui aussi bâti dalle, réhabilitation yo caille police, construction yo l'église et puis gouvernement qui aussi bâti yo community center. Gouvernement aussi voit nécessité là pour louer caille ba moun qui teni pour quitter caille pour préparation site là. Premier ministre a dit plus moun qui tape caille et puis qui rester à une manière qui plus confortable, c'est plus meilleur pour gouvernement. En même temps, là, membre parlement pour constituency Pili Savane, Honorable Dr. Kenny Daroudi, bien satisfait pour constituency. Ça, c'est moun hot Dubik qui est ni au meilleure place pour rester. Honorable Daroudi, cyclone Maria te dommagé Dubik et puis fait place là, pas safe. Membre parlement a dit, il a gardé pourtant là, la gouvernement et puis ces contracteurs là qui signé contrat là pour travail là commencer. Honorable Daroudi, ça, qui fait plus contrat, c'est le local contractor là qui a engagé à sous ces projets-là. Constituency Guabe qui aussi bénéficie de projet ça là. Aussi, membre parlement là pour constituency Guabe, Honorable Dr. Vince Henderson parle de bénéfice là projet ça là qui ni pour constituency. Honorable Henderson dit il qui mène activité économique à Guabe. Membre parlement là dit il a fait décision là qu'on qui moun qui tape ces cas là et puis ces cas là qui pour moun qui bien besoin. Eh bien, pas qu'à rester en bon manière actuellement. Gouvernement qui bâtit ces cas la collaboration et puis Montreal Management Consultants Establishment, MMCE, pour faire projet ça la réalité. MMCE, j'ai fait collaboration et puis gouvernement pour faire un lot développement CAI tout Dominique. Monsieur Carl Mourad, c'est manager projet là pour MMCE à Dominique. Il dit c'est gros développement ça là, c'est bon pour constituence Guabe. En semaine qui a venu, il a signé ce contrat là pour ce projet ça là. Au développement ça là qui fait village là, garder bien bon. Plus opportunité et puis activité économique qui prend place en communauté ça là. Vision la gouvernement ni pour enhancer qualité la vie bas citoyen qui continue et puis c'est construction et puis réhabilitation. C'est ça là. À d'autres nouvelles, Premier ministre et puis ministre Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit annonce le gouvernement qui bat Dominica Youth Business Trust là $1 million pour développement programme ça là. Honorable Skerrit fait annoncement ça là pendant DYBT graduation là qui prend place mercredi semaine passée. DYBT a continué pour engager moun qui ni petit business par traitement, provision l'argent, moun qui bien comité pour éduquer yo. DYBT a aussi aidé pour faire développement plan business et puis consultation aussi. L'argent ça là, c'est pour investissement, pour mission jeune moun et puis pour bailler aussi pour la yo besoin pour faire business yo réalité. Premier ministre Skerrit dit il y a espoir l'argent ça là qui fait d'autres jeunes moun intéressants pour faire petit business à Dominique. Honorable Skerrit dit gouvernement a toujours gardé pour manière pour aider jeunes moun pour personal et puis professional development yo. Premier ministre Skerrit complémenté ces jeunes moun là qui participaient à programme DYBT là. En même temps là, Premier ministre a dit gouvernement a fait un environnement et puis pour tuer accès pour jeunes moun pour business yo ni succès. Coordinator DYBT, M. Philippe Brule, the cérémonie sala ka montre ces jeunes moun la qui participent en programme sala bien déterminés pour faire bien en business yo quand c'est temps sala bien difficile comme Dominique et puis la tela ka bataille contre pandémie COVID-19. M. Brule dit ça c'est première fois la DYBT ka voit toutes ces moun sala participer à un programme DYBT à une fois. Il dit DYBT la bien content pour supporter ces jeunes moun la qui ni business. Coordinateur la dit en l'année qui passée DYBT la fait programme IDF la plus gros. Ça c'est Entrepreneurial Development Program là. Monsieur Roll dit quand yo mène programme ça là à différentes communautés à Dominique, il fait plus moun qui ni petit business intéressant à ces programmes là. Toinement ça la couru pour 4 semaines et puis ça ces moun là te ka fait c'est toinement 2 jours par semaine et puis ça prend place à emergency shelter là la yo. Ministre la qui ka ak pour affaires jeunes moun Honorable Gregory Rivière dit même si Dominique ni Charling quand Dominique a bataillé puis COVID-19, gouvernement Labour ka continue pour mettre niveau système en place pour faire employment ba moun. Ministre Rivière dit, ministre la ka continue pour supporter Dominica Youth Business Trust là pour faire certains jeunes hommes et puis jeunes femmes, ça fait une contribution socio-économique à développement Dominique. Monsieur Rudy Difo participe à un programme de YBT là. Il dit programme ça là où il y a un pile pour faire business li meilleur. Award là pour entrepreneur là qui est déterminé pour l'année veillante, aller pour Lonson Alexander et puis Nora St. Rose. Yon 103 jeunes moun tapé certificat pour traitement là et puis DYBT. Dominica Youth Business Trust là été établi à l'année 2004. Ça c'est tout pour Nouvelle à Creole. Nom c'est Shakira Pierre John. Au revoir.
Thank you, Shakira. And now your weather update. A high-pressure system is expected to result in occasional cloudiness with some brief scattered showers across parts of the Lesser Antilles, including Dominica, during today. However, a trough is expected to affect the area from tonight into Tuesday. Slight to moderate seas are anticipated during the next 24 hours, with northerly swells peaking to 7 feet. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay safe.